All right, it's a new day. Got back to my brother's place and we talked about the bracket for the alternator. So he did take the initiative to get the old one off and put this new one on. Let's see, the bolts in there, which looks very nice. My thing is, does it fit well and does it line up? Hopefully it does. So I'm gonna try that. Try to line it up and see what happens. I'm not sure what I want to do today, but I definitely can get the battery positive wire on the starter, get the solenoid wire hooked up. I can do that. That'll fix that end. And I'd rather have the sensors that I need to install. I would rather have the sensors such as the oil pressure switch and the coolant switch or temperature sensor, whatever. I would rather have those so I can go ahead and get those lined up. But I could just simply get the insulation for the main harness, get that tied up. That's an option. And I got a lot of options here. This is kind of feel a little overwhelmed at the moment of what my options are. Let me get the camera set up and then we can see if this alternator will line up. Let's see how it looks with the belt on there. A bracket there. Oh, he didn't take all that off. He had the alternator hooked up backwards and properly. So I had to look up the directions myself. So this here goes inside of there. And then that bolt goes to this extension. So that goes in the back of the alternator that way. And then I should be able to hook up the tensioner here. So I'm gonna swap those bolts out and then get this hooked up properly. Well, it's been about an hour and some change. So I tried working on a starter, getting the solenoid bolts and this section of the wiring harness ran down to the starter. That didn't work out well. I don't know where the nut for the solenoid fell. I can't find it. So I just I looked for it for like 10 minutes, like a legit 10 minutes, couldn't find it. So I might come back to it. I just have to find another one. I'm not in my place, so I don't have an assortment of nuts and bolts. And when I tell you, my brother got the minimum stuff, this is not what he do for a living. So it's gonna be like that. Now I got the alternator put in. I will have to change the belt. I mean, he's gonna have to change it eventually. It's tight. The alternator is. It doesn't sit like I would like, but don't get me wrong, it's straight. It's beautiful. This bracket is amazing. Got it from Summit, worked out really good. But the alternator itself, the bolt is just a little loose, and I don't like that 2 millimeters of movement. But for the most part, superficially, it looks straight. It came out great. I think he paid like $40 or something like that for it, 40, 50, something. It was somewhere around it. Beautiful. So got that on. Oh yeah, and the bolt. I guess when my cousin did this swap like years and years and years ago, like 20 years ago, the modification just wasn't the greatest. So, but we didn't have the stuff that we have today, like Amazon and the e-commerce side of automotive parts. It wasn't widely available like that. So what I worked on today, the star thing didn't work out. Don't have the switches, don't have those, so I just kind of ran those wires around. I got it kind of looped, like just in case in the future we want to make some alterations. All this will be insulated. This is just preset, so I'm gonna get everything mocked up and then it'll be finalized like this. I made the part light harness, so it came with this socket and 2 long wires on both sides. I pretty much got those lined up, insulated, and what was that third wire here? I got, this should be like left, right turn signal and park light. So I got those wired up. I didn't see a ground or anything. So I'm going to assume, I don't know how this system works. I'm just following the instructions on the wire. So you got left park, right park, and was it turn? Hold on. Yeah. So these are turn signal. So I guess, I don't know how this works. I would have to pull up a wiring diagram, but evidently, depending on what side gets power, or it keeps a constant ground, and one side get power or not. And I guess that'll how it's going to work. Because the ground portion just doesn't specify negative or positive. It just says light switch, like this one, light switch. Yeah, so I guess that's probably the ground, the center one. And then we got the positive front right and front left at the bottom. I assume that's how that's going to work. So I got the harness built, then I'm going to insulate it with the wire loom that I have, that mesh. So I'm in the process of doing these last 2 and getting this connector. Hopefully these support a load. I mean, these bulbs should only be 1 amp, so I guess those connectors should be fine. We got this large assortment off of Amazon. So this is what I'm putting in there now. And they got like small blades, but again, it's just 1 amp. I mean, can't be that big of a deal. I'm gonna get the camera propped up. I'm gonna get these last 2, and I'm gonna call it a day, because just one step at a time. Trust me, it went from spaghetti to looking like this, and it's going to eventually get all done at some point in time, and then we'll see what happened with the motor stuff. It's a lot. I hate doing modification stuff, but again, this wiring is so easy. I ain't got to think. I don't have to rub 2 brain cells together. The kit came with its own crimping tool and everything, so I'm excited about that, because I'm not that great at crimping without some sort of special tool. And it's been working extremely well. In an awkward position because I got the camera sitting in a Beautiful. It has come out so well. I'm gonna go to the next step so I can get this one a little tighter. Just like that. I'll match it up with this connector here. Purple's gonna be in the center. A little extra wire, it ain't serving me no purpose because here you go. Knock the other one out. I'm gonna drop the thing out, well, 3 different times. Perfect, got the lock in there. Let's see how it goes. And the connector. Perfect. And the wires are matched up. I'll beautify all this stuff later. Yeah, that looks really good. Yeah, I had dropped the lock in there several times. What I'm gonna do, it's eventually gonna get insulated like this, but a little better. And it's gonna get locked in up there. Somehow, I'll figure it out. But the main thing is we have park lights now. So I gotta make sure they work. At some point in time, there's no bulbs, but it's done. All right, that's just a partial update for what's going on with this truck here. I got a long way to go, So I wouldn't be surprised if I don't document some things. I'm ready for him to do the carpet, whatever you're gonna do with the interior, because I want to get the light done up there, just get that ran, get some of the interior stuff knocked out. And the only thing I see is going to be a pain in the butt is going to be the turn signal. So, but it's not. But I'm just saying, because I don't know what we're going to do with the steering column. Still waiting on the gauge cluster because I got a bunch of wires I got to run there. So we'll see. Hey, if anything happened, I'll definitely update. Hit that link, subscribe channel, stay informed, how to reach some work. See you on the next one.